Hey guys, I'm back. So you guys have had a pretty good response to enjoying me watching my older videos. So I figured I'd come back on today and review another. So this is going back, oh geez, let's see. I'm gonna have to exit the full screen to see when this was. Okay, so this was January of 2014. And this is Sadie, AKA Zoe by Claire Taylor. This was the second Zoe that Claire actually made, and it's the full body version. So the first Zoe was an older looking baby that was on a cloth body with the silicone head and limbs. So then she decided to do a younger version, full body silicone with that. This was, I believe, her first softer silicone in her special blend that she actually put out. The first Zoe was done in platinum dragon skin silicone, so it was more firm. So little Sadie, I couldn't remember her name either. And this was the first of many Zoes to come for me. So I actually purchased, I want to say like possibly 5. I loved this sculpt, and every one of them was very different. So let's go ahead and we're going to get into it. And I'm going to try not to talk over the video this time. I know that I did that a couple times in yesterday's video. So I'm going to try to go ahead and let it, I'll pause, then talk so I don't talk over it. So this is a part 1 of a details video. I'm not going to show you the part 2 because, well, I don't want it to get too long, but also because it was showing her backside, and and I'm going to have to actually skip over where it shows her little bits because this was done in 2014, the beginning of 2014, where we weren't worried about showing our dolly parts on YouTube. There was no problem with it. So I will jump from that and not share that part, but let's get started, guys.
Sorry about that, guys. My camera had only a certain amount of memory. So
that was a weird way to start off the video. I'm guessing I had some technical difficulties. I guess I have technical difficulties all the time, guys. It's just a regular thing, but odd way to start the video. But okay, let's continue.
As I was saying, as I was so rudely cut off by my my phone, my camera, that I was on a list waiting since about March of last year for the sweet baby. And so I waited patiently, which I'm really not very good at. I will say that much.
I want to say something real quick. This was also the first time I think that Claire started sending out the little Joey cloth diapers with all of her dolls. She did that for a period of time. She was always really good at picking out like the best cloth diapers to send with her dolls. I remember when I got Janica, those were a different brand of cloth diapers, but they were amazing. And she's always picking the greatest diapers. I don't know where she finds them all, but also I want to note this particular outfit was one of my very early on Jacquerie outfits what helped make me fall in love with the brand. So that being said, let's continue.
Until my number was up. And when she came up and she was ready to be mine, I was happily ready to take her. I was over the moon, pleased with how she turned out. And you'll see why momentarily.
See this right here? This is driving me nuts because of the bend in her leg. I want to also point out that, yeah, I was on, this was back when artists actually had lists, and when they released new editions, if you emailed them, put a deposit down, if you made the list, and you got a doll, and you just waited for the artist to let you know what your number was. And then when your number came up, she would send pictures of the finished doll. So you didn't get like in progress. Claire's never done in progress pictures of any of her edition dolls. Even if you were customizing it, you didn't get in progress pictures. She's not a fan of that for whatever reason. I don't think she likes the in progress pictures to be shared. But I waited like 9 months I think it was roughly 9 or 10 months for this doll. And I literally just never contacted her. I like put the deposit down. I knew I was on the list. She would contact me when the doll was ready, and she did. And I want to say she was like a higher up number, if I recall. I don't remember which number she was. Maybe I say it later on in this. But anyways, let's continue, guys.
I finished getting her undressed. And you know, I can't say enough about Claire's babies. Every time I think she can't get any better, she does, and she surprises me. And, you know, honestly, I'm just amazed at the talent level that Claire has in creating these babies. She really just brings them to life, and the painting, the detail, just everything about them, I'm always just so thrilled with. So,
Still am.
first of all, I'm going to pick up camera here
Oh, she's so cute.
and show you. And I've tried to pull up the blind in my nursery so that you can all get the best close coloring of what she actually looks like in real life. But it's always so
She's so
not
cute.
accurate in here. Like her lips aren't as like, you know, orangey pink as they seem on
That's
video
extreme.
right now. She's not as pink, but as you all have known, I complain all the time about the lighting in my doll room that makes everything look more bright and not what they're called.
Super close-ups. Holy crap. Okay, so I have to say, it makes me chuckle because I've been saying the same thing about Claire's dolls for so many years. This was after having several of her dragon skin partial silicones, like from many, I want to say at least a handful of years prior to this video. So this was done in the beginning of 2014, and I had been collecting her dolls for a handful of years prior to this, but they were all, other than the Janica, they were all done on cloth bodies that I had had previously. And this was like really the first soft silicone that I had experienced from Claire. So it was a very exciting, doll to receive. And this, I have to say, she is by far, of all the Zoes that I had, she was my favorite, the favorite face, because every one of their faces seemed to be a little bit different. I loved the look of this baby.
Yes. So, but there's her pretty little face. She has newborn baby blue
It looks so
eyes.
dark.
She has rooted
They weren't that
lashes.
dark.
And take a look at this rooting on her head.
So
Now,
close.
granted, I have not even combed her hair since I have gotten her out of the box. And this is how nice she came out of the box looking. It's shorter on the sides, very wispy, newborn style, and a little thicker on top, with a little bit longer, a little curl. It's just so cute that I haven't even felt the need to comb it yet. But
the joy of Claire's rooting, you really don't have to comb it. And it's always been that way. Her rooting is phenomenal. It always has been. And I remember I really didn't ever have to comb her hair whatsoever or brush it. I would just, it just kind of stayed put. It was done so beautifully. Oh my goodness. I'm like reliving like the love for this baby. I loved this baby.
here are her ears. And you'll notice that they're floppy and soft. And for anybody that, you know, has never seen little ears that are folded over like that, here's the other one. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is a newborn, and her ears still are like that a lot. They were folded over like that when she was born. So to me, it's just endearing because babies come out of the womb looking a little wrinkled up and a little bit folded here and creased there. And, you know, it's the glory and the interesting thing about newborn babies is that they just, they aren't perfect. And that's kind of
so true. And let me just note those ears. This is a portrait baby of a collector's grandchild. Okay. Her granddaughter. And I met the real Zoe, who this two of these sculpts were created after. And she was born with these little folded over ears. And my oldest daughter did have that. I think that was why I was like so intrigued by it, because it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize other babies, had that little folded over flap on their ears. But that my oldest daughter did. And so it was one of those things that really drew me to this sculpt. I loved how she did the ears, and they were so soft and floppy. They were just so realistic feeling. It just loved that about her.
Makes them amazing little creatures when they come out. So there's her face, and I showed you her ears and her hair, and you can see she has little armpits. And something I was trying to explain to people that I really have never seen before is when you wrinkle up her skin, it literally, let me see if I can focus.
The wrinkling skin.
Oh,
too close.
It wrinkles up like real skin does. So if you see her hand right there, when you wrinkle it up, it literally wrinkles up like skin. It's very hard to pick it up on this camera.
This was also the first time that I realized that Claire was able to create wrinkly silicone that looked like skin. This was my first encounter, and I was so in love with it. Like, I literally, from that moment, 2014, you guys, I fell in love with her silicone because it was just so cool, and no other silicone artist out there could mimic that. And this was like the first time we all went, wow, it wrinkles like skin. This is so cool. And I was so blown away by it. And let's continue.
But I'm amazed. So anyways, let me quickly show you her hand. Hand number 1.
Loved this baby's hands. Still do.
And she's just very flappy, but not too floppy. So she retains her form. But when you squeeze her, it's almost like she has memory foam, because it doesn't just feel like rubbery. Like, a lot of silicones tend to have that rubbery feeling to them. And this baby does not at all. I've never felt anything like it. And mind you, she's not as blotchy as she's coming across.
The constant issue in that room, same nursery space I have currently. I have different lighting in there now, so it's a little better, but this is also when I first felt with that memory foam, slow to come back to its form silicone. This is the first style that I experienced that with. So this is the beginning of Claire's amazing special blend of silicone. And in comparison to like Monroe, this style is a little more firm, but not by like a ton. I mean, her dolls have slowly gotten softer, yes. But the great thing about Claire's Edition doll silicone is that they always maintain their form. They don't bend in wonky ways. So even though they're soft and squishy, they still have their form. They still feel like they're supposed to, but it's not overdone. So it's not like as if you have to worry about it, like their legs bending in weird ways, unless like sitting her up, that was the way that the leg would bend funny, but any silicone will. But this was the first time I had experienced that silicone, and it literally got me hooked. Like, I'm currently hooked on it. It's still my favorite silicone. I still think that it's best in the business.
My video, it is the doll room with pink walls. That's what makes it look
that nursery.
Here's her other hand. Claire does an amazing job of painting. I'm always just amazed. Love how she paints her babies. So there's her little belly and her belly button, and she's nice and soft. But if you see, she doesn't, it kind of takes a little bit longer to unsqueeze. It's very interesting. I don't know what she used, but I love it. And of course, she has her umbilical stump. Dun, da, da, da. So if you want to pose her like she's just come home from the hospital.
I love that. I have to say, like, Claire's not the only now, but then she was the only silicone artist who would actually make the little props to go along with it, like the umbilical stumps, and hers were always the best. They were the most realistic for their time. I don't know, hands down, I just have always really enjoyed her. She used to send, oh gosh, The bottles with the silicone nipples, those are like highly sought after. I told her she could make like a living just, making those and selling them. And with the Janica edition, it was the only edition she did this with. She made silicone pacifiers and they were done. I think that she created the mold based on a Nook without the handle pacifier because that was the shape of it. And she only did that once. And I wish I had held on to that because it would be like so awesome to still have. But she's really great at creating these other little, and I forget about these things until I see them again. But like just props that she makes and pours out of silicone to use with our silicone dolls. It was really cool.
And you can do that.
And it was magnetic.
At making these really neat props. It's amazing to me. And once again, she also came with a bottle. She sent a beautiful glass bottle, which I'm a fan of glass bottles anyways. There's secret mixture inside. And then she actually makes these nipples so that they're sealed, so you don't have to worry about sealing them. So that came with her as well.
Love it.
And let me show you. Okay, so here's the warning, guys.
We're going to skip over this part because we don't want to. Oh boy. Looks like we're going to end it there then. I'm not going to be able to show you her feet because I don't want to show the girl bits and I don't want to get this video flagged. So I'm just we're going to end it here and let's see. Okay. So my thoughts on this, and I'm sorry I can't show you the rest of it because it does share her little girl bits, and I don't want this video flagged, so my apologies. But back then we were doing that; it wasn't a problem. So my thoughts on this: I loved that doll so much, you guys. She was really, I have to say, she was honestly my favorite Zoe of all of them. I think she was, she had a sparkle to her eyes that some of the other Zoes just didn't have. And I thoroughly enjoyed this baby so much. And ultimately, she was the start of the craze for that special blend of silicone. And I think she was painted beautifully. Like Claire's always been ahead of her time for how she paints, the type of silicone she used. She's an inventor. She is a genius at the things that she comes up with that are like nobody else's, which is why we love them. So that was really cool to re-experience because I'll tell you what, I wished I'd held on to that doll because there were several dolls that came after her that that didn't even come close to comparing to the quality of that doll. And that was, I believe, yes, that was my very first. Was she my very first custom? No, she wasn't. I had earlier dolls that were partial silicones that were done as customs. I chose what I wanted. But that was my first full body silicone by Claire that was made to my specifications that I wanted. And I adored that doll, and her painting was beautiful. Like the quality, even back in 2014, back to 2011, when Janica's came out, like I do have a video of my first Janica that I might do. I have 2 videos of that doll, and then the doll moved on to a new mommy. So I might have to go back and visit that as well, because I love looking back at how beautiful Claire's work was, like right from the start, like clean. The silicone didn't look like silicone, like the quality and the look of it was like skin. Like she was perfect at making them look like skin. And so once again, I've been singing her praises for forever. It feels like forever, at least for me, because I've always really thought so highly and enjoyed her artistry. And there's nothing like it. There still isn't to me to this day. So there it is, guys. There's my review of little Zoe, Sadie. I named her Sadie, and she went on to live in the UK for a bit. I'm not sure where she's at now. I wouldn't mind having that doll back someday. Like I would still take her back if she's in decent condition, and I would enjoy her thoroughly. So anyways, guys, that's another review under the belt. I think it's fun to kind of go back and revisit these. That's why I decided to do it. So if you guys continue to enjoy these, I will continue to make them for you. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. This is just a fun way to really go back and see some of my older dolls. You guys get to experience what I used to have in my collection over the years. And it reminds me of some of the dolls that I forgot I had. I know that sounds terrible, right? But because so many years have passed and so many dolls have come to my nursery and left again, some were just a blip on the screen, like barely even touched the nursery and left right away. So it's fun to go back and visit those. And I have a lot of reborns that I have on the channel as well. So let me know let me know if you like this, and we will continue to review these. So happy Saturday, guys. I hope you're all enjoying the start of your weekend, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.